All right. We're back for another one. Yeah. So I had to finish this up. Sorry guys. I'm not gonna be there tomorrow. I mean, for 100 of you, it doesn't really matter. It's the same thing, right? But for the people who are in class, I'm sorry. But I had to have to do some stuff because of the hurricane. I'm not getting into it, but some stuff that just came up, and I couldn't do it later in the week because that will be indisposed. So, before we get started, we don't have that much left to do on this. There's 10 slides, so it's not a lot. But before we do, just make sure that you're following along. Well, I think I got everything. I spent a lot of time. Make sure that you're doing your assignments tomorrow, which is just, if you didn't watch this and you're watching it, then, you're doing the right thing. Study, listen to the A-Push Ambush. You have your chapter 11 and 12 questions that you need to do. And you have studying for the test on Thursday. So you have plenty of stuff to do. Then you have the test on Thursday. And then you have on Friday, you have Holocaust Remembrance. So it's a video and a pre-question and a post-question. So make sure you do the pre-question. You're not losing points. You're just going to get all around points. So it's not like you got to get them right. So don't be all like, oh, I got to get them right because I'm going to lose points. Like, you're getting it credit. So just do it. Just, it's a very important thing. It's something that we have to do. So that's why we're doing it this week. So, and then that's it. If something happens with a test and it breaks, or the, AP Classroom doesn't work, it's not going to work. There's nothing I can do. I can't do anything from where I'm at. So if it happens, it happens. You can send me an email. I'm not going to respond until Sunday. So, and then just, know that I'll let you make it up. I'm not a crazy person. I understand things happen, and, we'll figure it out. But we'll move on. We'll move on with it, right? So let's move on with this. Pep Banks. This isn't a piggy bank, right? It's not the same thing, but it is a bank. So let's go. Hopefully this is, there we go. There we go. All right. So if we go back just a second to where we finished off last time, all right, with King Andrew, all right, and hold on. Did we get to that? I think we did. Oh, now I'm going too far. Yeah, I went too far. Yeah, because we did the war on the bank. All right. So, Pep Banks. So, the charter lasted until 1836. All right. And remember, this is Biddle. So this is what Biddle was trying to do. He was trying to force Jackson's hand. The problem is, what Jackson does is he's going to take all the money out of the Bank of the United States, the bus, and put it into selected state banks. Well, this is a lot of money. Like a lot. So corruption here is easily happened. Not easily happened. That doesn't make sense. It can easily happen, right? It's easy to do. So these became known as Pep Banks. So they withdraw the money. It takes out all the bus's money. And even some of his supporters were like, we had a good stable economy. Why are you messing with it? Just because he hated him so much. He hated Henry Clay. What is that? It's like ow. There's like some piece of something stuck in my hair, my arm. Sorry. Squirrel, and Jackson's looking at it as the bank is against the common man, because remember, that's his whole thing, right? This is a common man, and the bank is only for rich people. That's for the Hamiltons. That's for the old Federalist Party, right? And so what Biddle does is he messes up, right? Because he threatens to recall all the loans. And what that means is you say, okay, I'm going to recall this loan. That means you have to pay it back right now. And certain loans, they can do that. You definitely don't want to get involved in a loan with that. But the problem was he thought it was going to mean Jackson was going to back down. But the problem was that you just played into their hands, because they're like, look, you can't, when they say the private bank has too much power and they can control the economy and they can do things. And then he turns around and tries to control the elected United States president with this, right? And they just go, look, see, he's doing it. He got caught, right? I mean, yeah, it wasn't going to work. So, and the problem here is you're going to have inflation. I know somebody who's listening to this is like, oh my God, inflation. A certain unnamed person in 7th Hour. I won't name them, though. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of different paper currencies getting printed here from these state banks. I didn't say anything, Miss Martin. If you want to out one of your friends, then that's on you. I'm not going to do that. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so it did lead to inflation. Now, this is the species circular. All right, gets a little confusing as well. All right, so yeah, that is a good payback for Friend Friday. I forgot about that. Yeah, the people listening, somebody in 7th Hour asked for Friend Friday, so they didn't get it on Friday. Oh well, I told people. If there's not, no, they didn't. Yeah, don't come in here with that nonsense. You guys were getting whooped too. So they scored 14 points in like 3 seconds on you guys. Yeah, I don't think I wasn't watching that one too. And we'll see what happens at the end. But the problem with these local banks is you don't have a centralized control. And when you don't have a centralized control of the money supply, it can get out of control really, really quickly. All right. So that doesn't mean anything. They're obviously not the 5th best team now. Right? Because they're losing. We've only had 1 loss. 2. So, just saying. And so the species circular said it's really just, they're talking about buying public land, and they're like, okay, what we need to do is we need to only accept gold and silver for it. And the reason why they did that was it was going to be to force everybody to get rid of these weird currencies. So they're going to change their money for gold, but the problem is the banks didn't have any gold, so then they failed. All right. So the overall thing here is just that the economy is, as much as, you know, you don't want, if you're under the beliefs that you don't want the federal government to have a lot of power, and a banking system, a centralized bank definitely gives the government more and more power. It's in a country, even at this point of this size with these different states, you got to have some kind of centralized banking to regulate this stuff, right? Because people aren't good, right? The banks they're not looking out for the best of the country. They're looking out for the best of them, which is their state. So that's the problem that we're playing with here. All right. Now this guy, every time I see this guy's photo, I like die laughing. I mean, I don't think he can look. This is what Christos looked like in the first, minute and a half of the Florida Georgia game. He was like, what is going on? They scored 14 points in like 3 seconds. This is what Christo looked like if we could have taken a photo from his TV out to him. This is what he looked like. I don't even know how you can make a sadder face than that. I really don't know how you can make a sadder face than that. That's just like, I'll have to make a meme on that one. Like, when I do something bad or something that you guys don't like, I'll be like, oh. Nah, it's 7 o'clock. Who cares? I ain't hold back. Yeah. So this guy, his name's Roger Taney. All right. And he's going to go against John Marshall. He's going to be the Supreme Court. And he serves until 1864. This guy is not a good person. All right. He's going to make some decisions leading up to the Civil War that are pretty bad. And so a couple of these things, you don't really have to know what these cases are. You just have to know that Roger Taney was a Supreme Court Chief Justice, and he's opposite, right? He's going against John Marshall. I put him in here. The biggest one I would guess would be... none of these are that big, really. This one, I guess this one on the bottom, the Briscoe versus Bank of Kentucky, allowed a bank owned by the state to issue currency, even though the Constitution says you can't. So, you know what I mean? You can see how this is for state power, right? He is a state power justice against the Federalist justice of John Marshall, all the things he did to increase federal power. I don't know what I'm doing over here with my arm. You guys can't see it. I'm raising it up and down, but yeah, you can't see. Oh well. Yeah, okay. Let's go. 1830s. Oh my God, these guys in these photos, man. Like, didn't he get a brush like at all? Like, look at this guy's hair. Like, just get something, man. Just put like a little water, just kind of get it down a little bit, or just get rid of it all. Just get it all right. So we have the Whig Party. Okay, so you're gonna have the Whig Party, right, and you're gonna have the Democrats or Jacksonian Democrats, however you want to call them, right? Those are gonna be the two main parties. The problem with the Whig Party is there's a lot of interest in it, a lot of different things. So it makes up a lot of people. You have Clay's American System, which is very important, right? That's the mainstay of it. That's the tariffs, right? You have the Bank of the United States, and you have infrastructure spending, right? Those three things. You have the people who are Calhoun, John C. Calhoun, remember the nullifiers from South Carolina? And you're going to have large northern merchants. So think about large northern merchants and South Carolina nullifiers, trying to nullify laws sent by, what am I saying? Laws sent by the federal government, right? To nullify those. Anti-Masonics, I think it's Masonics. They wanted internal improvements. We talked about that with America's system, railroads, because railroads are beginning. They're not like the fastest things in the world. And the one thing about railroads at this point is kind of funny is they're different widths. And I'll explain that later. I mean, if you don't know anything about railroads, it's and so asylums, that's where if you're crazy, you can go. All right. Prison schools, right? These are all big government things, all right? And the problem is Andrew Jackson, as much as we like to hate on him, boy's got some power, right? I have where's it at? Andrew Jackson's got the power to elect whomever he wants. That's the only time I'm going to sing is with that thing. Because if you guys, hopefully that came through with the... Okay, good. I'm glad that wasn't just me like singing, without something. Oh man, that would have been funny if it didn't work. So yeah, Jackson selects Martin Van Buren. He's like, okay, he's my boy. We're gonna get this election. The problem is the Whigs. All right, they nominate all these people to try and split the vote. Because remember, if you split the vote and you don't get the majority, it goes to the House, and they had control of the House. So, doesn't happen. Martin Van Buren wins. Old Sideburns. What up, Sideburns? Oh, do they have one for their kind of cool like that?
This just in, Martin Van Buren wins the election of 1836. Some call him Sideburns, some call him side hair, or lack of top hair. We haven't decided yet. Back to the regularly scheduled program.
I don't know if that sounded cool, but that was my... those things are fun. Martin Van Buren wins, right? All right. So, Martin Van Buren, it's the same picture. It's so funny. I like to use it. God. It's like he shaved the middle of his face all the way up to the top, all the way down to the bottom. And then he's just going to use the side hair, right? But a lot of people, he had some controversy, right? He had a couple different things. The annexation of Texas, the abolitionist movement, this Panic of 1837. This was the problem, all right? You had people, remember we talked about what speculators were. Those are people who think that the land is going to keep going up and up and up and up. So they were buying land on borrowed money. That's when you get in real trouble, when it's not even your own money, right? So you're borrowing money it's like borrowing money to gamble. That's what they're doing. They're gambling. So you're like, I got it this time. I'm really got it. I'm sure I'm going to hit 21. Boom. Busted. You go over, lose everything, right? That's what they're doing with land, though. And so they're doing it in huge, huge numbers. And it's having a big, big problem with the American economy, all right? And those Pep Banks, the specie circular, all of these things are forcing this panic of 1837. European banks were failing, and so they start calling on foreign American banks, and then the American banks don't have any money, and so they fail, but they had government funds. So then now the government's failing. Right, and this is, it's bad news bears, all right? And so the land sales stop. They can't sell any more land. Federal government, they run out of money. No more internal improvements. No more railroads and roads and stuff like that. Iced tea. This is best. I got this new iced tea pitcher. Make it cold. Cold brew iced tea. It's tasty. You guys are like, man, he is old. He's talking about brewing tea. I know. Hold on. Getting a message from a student. Oh, they're asking me. I'm not answering that. Somebody's asking. Guys, I'm not going to answer questions about stuff that I already give you the answers to. Nobody's looked for it, right? You need to make sure, if you're listening to this, that you look at the schedule for the week. I put it all right there on the front. I put a whole new one that goes over everything, what you need to do. So hopefully everybody's watching. I mean, I know there's only, 3 of you guys out here watching right now, but, hopefully other people watch it later. I think the one from this morning only has like 30 views right now. So I don't know. I'm doing my part. You guys got to do yours. All right. Meme break. Oh, this one I forgot. Oh, Andrew Jackson. He's the worst. Oh, it's funny. Yeah, that one's not that good. I didn't write either one of these. The first one's funny though. Gone to Texas. All right. Texas is very, very sparsely populated at this point. Even the public ones, Crystals? I mean, that's crazy. I mean, you could just, doesn't most people just have a YouTube account? I don't know. Maybe I'll just stop doing, I mean, I don't know. This is ridiculous. It's like, yeah, I know. I mean, I know but I'm like, you're going to force us all to go online, and then, you want teachers to do things that are going to make it a little bit more interesting than, Google Meets all the time. It's just something different. It's like, if you're just going to listen to me, this is so much better than Google Meets. You know what I mean? If you're going to be involved in it, I see how Google Meets is better. It's more interaction and things like that. Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll just, do Meets from now on. I just thought it was, it's just better doing it this way. But I guess if people can't see it, then that's crazy. Yeah, I think, both of them have their, attributes for sure. But I think if it's mostly just getting information, this is better than Google Meets. If you want a little bit more interaction, then Google Meets is better. But I think as a change of pace, this is pretty cool. All right. So we only got a couple slides left. You should recognize, not Christos because she's not been in the class, but this Come and Take It is in the classroom. I have that one, that flag up there in the classroom. So Texas, they want some more people to move into Texas. So Mexican authorities are like, hey, let's get some people in here. So they have it on, I like the voice changer too. And it's just different. Just different. Yeah, if anybody's listening to this, you can click on the live chat, as you're listening to this afterwards, and you can see the chat. So that way you're not getting the one-sided conversation. You can click on, if you click live chat, it'll give you the live chat as it's, going on with us as we're talking. I know if you don't, then it's like, who's he talking to? This is weird. Sounds like he's talking to himself. So, I guess I could use the voice changer. For this one, this would be a good one for it.
Attention all Texas wannabe immigrants. You must be a citizen, you must speak Spanish, and you must throw down your Protestant ways and take up Catholicism. This is non-negotiable. You must also not bring your slaves with you. Oh, I thought that was next. Sorry.
I don't know why that's not on there. But you can't bring you weren't supposed to bring slaves. All right. And Stephen Austin is the one who really starts bringing a large number of them in. And so they never changed. I don't think this comes as a big surprise, right? They're like, let's not learn the Spanish thing. Let's just, stay English. They didn't want to be Catholic, and it's going to set itself up for a big fight. All right. So in 1829, they abolished slavery. No more American settlements. They want them to buy all their stuff from Mexico. So if they're importing goods, they put a tariff on them. All of these things are setting up the Texans to want to be on their own. All right. And this is when it really starts. This guy Santa Anna, who's he's the leader of Mexico. All right. And they're thinking of this is basically like Lexington and Concord, right? They're fighting off the Mexicans. They're gonna fighting off the British. They're gonna get their independence. So you have this thing that's at the Alamo, right? This is 1836. 6,000 Mexicans. All right. They beat 183 Texans. And these guys, Jim Bowie, Sam Houston, Davy Crockett, these are the people whose names are ubiquitous in Texan history. The people, especially anybody from Texas, you definitely know these guys. And so they held them off, right? But they held them off for a couple days. I mean, they're eventually defeated, but 6,000 to 183. That's numbers. It's going to be hard to overcome. And then Santa Anna does a bad thing here. He executes some people who surrender. Get more support. So I don't know. Yeah. Sorry, I got a little distracted there for a second thinking about something else. Now, this is when they win. So they win their independence. All right. And Texas wants to be annexed to the United States. Because they're like, hey, we supported them with money, weapons, all these different things. And if we can bring them in, it'll be a lot better. America was they didn't want to get involved in a Mexican war at this point. Not yet. All right. And the North, they don't want it because Texas has slaves. And so again, that would upset the balance in the Senate. Remember, this is still ongoing, right? This balance in the Senate. Slaveocracy. I love how they come up with these ocracies, right? But really, the annexation, they just didn't want to add another slave state. So, and the North has a lot of the votes, and so they're going to be very, very resistant to it. But we have coming up, we have the election of 1840. Martin Van Buren gets nominated by the Democrats, and we get William Henry Harrison and John Tyler. John Tyler, fun fact about John Tyler, this guy, his grandson, not great-grandson, his grandson is still alive. What? He's still alive, his grandson. And we're talking about him in 1840. How bananas is that? It's pretty crazy, right? I'll explain it later. So Tippecanoe and Tyler too. So this was John Tyler was a war hero. Again, we like our war heroes. And they didn't really offer a platform. That was their probably biggest downfall. All right. And remember the Whigs, they're the ones that want a much larger federal government. They want all these things. And the Democrats want in those big banks and the corporations, right? So that's all they're doing. This is big government versus small government, all right? So Harrison is elected, but this joker, okay, dies 1 month into office. There's some stuff with this. There's some controversy, right? With this. He gave his inauguration speech. It was like 30 degrees. Some say that he got like a flu type of flu, and then he died a month later. Some say they found out that they were dumping raw sewage too close to where, this is gross, to where they were getting the water for the White House, and he caught something and he died that way because a lot of other people got sick. It could have been a combination of the two, but this guy died 1 month into this, and John Tyler becomes president. So this guy, John Tyler, his grandson, is alive right now because he had a kid when he was 70. And his kid, so that guy, had a kid when he was 70. And then that person is alive still. Grandson of the 10th U.S. president. Yeah, it feels illegal. Yeah, having kids when you're 70. It should be. I mean, how are you going to be around for that kid? So look at this. The Whigs didn't offer a platform, but Martin Van Buren had all these negative things happening during his presidency, and he loses. Something straight out of the Bible. I know. It's crazy. It's not like a great-grandson. You know what I mean? You could be like great-great-grandson. You'd be like, oh, okay, that sounds about right. It's not that big a deal. But I mean, your grandfather is the 10th U.S. president, right? Your grandfather was the president 20 years before Abraham Lincoln. That's crazy. I never said it that way. My grandfather was the president of the United States 20 years before Abraham Lincoln. Being able to make that statement right now, that's crazy. So this really did start this two-party system in the United States, really kind of cemented it. And I put on the A-Push Ambush. You really needed to be able to tell me the differences between these two. It's going to help you out a lot. I think that's all of them. Okay, yeah, let me go back. So that's all of them. So I'll leave these up here for a minute. And that's it. I told you it wasn't going to be long. 34 minutes. It's a good amount. And this is it, guys. I'm not going to see you till Monday. Yeah. So you guys have a good week. I know I will. Thank you, sir, for joining one of the three people. Make sure you give it a like, so at least it has some kind of a like. I'm going to send out a remind that's just... we'll see you later, Sophie. Have a great night. All right, everybody. Have a great week. You should be watching this on Wednesday, and I'll see you on Monday. Peace. A-Push forever.